In this video, I will continue to show you how to use a Venn diagram to calculate various probabilities. We'll find the probability of A or B, the probability of A and B, the probability of A given B, the probability of A given not B, all of that good stuff. Now, first of all, please understand that this P does stand for probability, and anytime we are dealing with probability, we know that probability is target over total. Okay, now looking at this Venn diagram, it shouldn't be hard to figure out what the total is. 12 and 8, that's 20. 20 plus 30 is 50, and another 10 is 60. So the total is 60. Now, what's the target? The target is A or B. So understand the following. Let me scroll to my general notes here. Okay, A and B is the overlap between A and B. A or B is all of both. Okay? In either case, you can start with A, and then if it's and, you make it less using B. If it's or, you make it more using B. So that's one way to think of it. But you know what? This one is pretty straightforward. So if you understand that we need for A or B, we need to do all of A and all of B, right? Just all of this is what A or B is. Then you know that we're going to add these three numbers. So that's going to be 30, 40, 52. And I mean, we could reduce this, but that's, this is one valid form of the answer. You probably wouldn't need it for such a simple problem as this, but let me go ahead and show you the other way I was talking about. For all of these and or problems, you can simply start with the first set, which in this case is A, highlight all of those numbers, and then if it's and, you would erase some of these and make it less because of whatever B says. If it's or, you're going to add on more because of whatever B says. So this is an or problem, so I'm going to add on more. In addition to what I've already highlighted, I'm going to add on any numbers that are in B. And so there's only one number that's in B that I haven't already highlighted, so I add that on. So that's another way of seeing that's going to be 52. Now this was so simple you wouldn't have needed that, but sometimes the sets are much more complicated, and that strategy is very helpful. And number 18, still probability, so still target over total. It's going to be a fraction. But this is an and problem. And we know that when we're doing and, it is the overlap. So for a simple problem like this, where you just have A and B, you don't need anything fancy. You know it's going to be just the part in the middle. Just automatically, you know that the overlap between A and B is right here. Alright, so that's the target, and the target is 12. The total, of course, is still 60. So target over total is 12 over 60. And yes, you could reduce this, but 12 over 60 is an acceptable answer. Just for the sake of completion, I'm going to mention that other method, which you would not need on a problem this simple, but when the problems get more complicated, you might be glad that I showed you the other method. You can always look at these problems as starting with the first letter and then going from there. If it's an OR problem, you add more using the other set. If it's an AND problem, you take away using the other set. So that's another way to look at it. We could start with A. So look, these are the two numbers that are in A. But since this is an AND problem, we're going to take away using the other set. So it has to be set B as well. So that means we have to take away the 30 so that we will only have numbers that are in set B. And that's another way to get the 12. Alright, anyway, number 19. The probability of A given B. That's what that stands for. I love these problems where there's a given because you know how when we do the probability, it's always target over total? Well, it turns out that the given is always the new total, all right, which makes it easy. That's going to be the new denominator. And the other set is the target. So when you have a given problem, you should start with the total, okay, which is going to be set B. So set B is the new total, so highlight it. Alright, highlight set B, highlight the new total. Okay, so this is set B, this is the new total. Before I do anything else, since this is now the total, that means there can't be any other numbers, because you know, this is the total, so that there can't be an 8, there can't be a 30. Cross those out, they are gone. So the new total is 22. So we're going to put that in the denominator. When we do target over total, it'll be something over 22. I might as well put it here. It'll be something over 22. Now let's move on to that target, which is A. So look back at the diagram. Alright, I had two numbers in A, right, because this is circle A, but remember I crossed out one of them because we have to stick to the new total. So ignore the 30, it's gone. In fact, what 30? I don't even know what you're talking about. The only A number is this 12, which you can see this 12 is inside of circle A. So 12 is an A value. So, and that's the target, all right? The target is A, and this is the only A we've got, so 12. So that's why it's going to be 12 over 22. All right, now we have the probability of B given A. Well, it's going to be kind of the same thing. The given is always going to be the new total. So start with that. That means A is the new total. So let's look back at the big picture. And so here's A, so that means this is the new total. Since this is the new total, there can be no other numbers. So make sure you go ahead and cross out the 10 and the 8 because A is the new total. And this is a total of 42. So that's going to be the denominator. Alright, we're talking target over total, and the new total we just saw was 42. Now, how about the target? Well, the target is the other set. Set B is the target. Okay, set B is the target. So let's look up and see what set B is. Well, set B used to have two numbers in it. but we crossed out these numbers so we wouldn't be tempted to use them. So the only set B number we have is 12. So guess what? That's the target. So that's why target over total will be 12 over 42. And of course this reduces, but I'll leave that to you. 80 students were surveyed about the streaming devices they have at home. Here are the results. 42 students have Netflix, 23 students have Hulu, 14 students have both Netflix and Hulu. Use this information to complete the Venn diagram below. Always start with the middle part. Here's a common mistake. Here's what you don't do. 42 students have Netflix. Oh, 42 goes here. Don't do that. 23 students have Hulu. 23 goes there. Oh no! That's so wrong. 14 students have both Netflix and Hulu. That's actually okay. This is what a bunch of students do. No matter what I say, this is totally wrong. Because, look at Netflix for example. Looking at the Netflix circle of anyone who did this, Netflix, this circle has two numbers in it, 42 and 14. So according to this messed up diagram, Netflix has 42 plus 14. Alright, Netflix has 56 subscribers. Well, you know, what I mean to say is there are 56 students that have Netflix. And that's too many. So, since we already wrote down the 14, here's how you solve the problem. Always start with the middle number. 14 students have both Netflix and Hulu. Write that down first. Then think about what goes here. Since 42 students have Netflix, and we've already written down 14 of them, the question is how many are left. So, in other words, you need to be thinking, what is 42 minus 14? And that is 28. So 28 goes here. Alright, put another way, now if you look at the Netflix circle, you see 28 and 14. Guess what you get if you add 28 plus 14? That's not a 14. Oh my God, we get 42. That's how many students have Netflix. So that's correct. Similarly, let's talk Hulu. 23 students have Hulu. We've already written down 14. So, how many students are left for this section over here? You have to say 23 minus 14. So, 23 minus 14. That is 9. So that's why we have 9 here. Another common mistake is stopping here. Oh God! Don't stop here. We need to know the number that goes in this corner because there are 80 students. And so far we have 28 plus 14 plus 9. Alright, that's 51 so far. There's a total of 80, so we need to go 80 minus the 51 that we already have so far. And that leaves 29. So that's how we know there should be a 29 here to represent the students who have neither Netflix nor Hulu. So let's see what other questions they have to ask us. Oh, I guess that's it for that problem. That's done. Okay. Now, event F has 5 letters. Event V starts with a vowel. Vowels are A, E, I, O, and U. Which of the following words belong in the set F and not V? Even though we don't have a Venn diagram this time, we can still use one of the strategies that I showed you to do this problem. there's a strategy where no matter what, you start by highlighting the first set. Then you're either going to add more or narrow it down from there. So how do I know if I'm going to add more or narrow it down? Well, if it's an AND problem, then I'm going to start with the first set, and then I'm going to make it less. I'm going to narrow it down using the other set. Alright, AND is less. If it's an OR problem, I'm going to start with the first set, and then I'm going to make it more using the other set. Alright, so I'll start with the first set, but OR is more, so I'm going to add on more. So looking at this problem, I'm definitely going to start by highlighting the first set. Event F has 5 letters. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I'm going to highlight that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, I'm going to highlight that. Alright, I'm not going to highlight that because it doesn't have 5 letters. I'm not going to highlight this either. So I'm going to start with this. Now, am I going to add on more to this because of the other set? Or am I going to make it less? Am I going to narrow it down using the other set? Well, this is an AND problem. AND is less. So I'm going to take away at least one of these. Alright, I'm definitely not going to add on anything else. Alright, only OR is more. AND is not more. I start with the first one. I can't add on anything if it's an AND problem. So, I need to narrow it down so that I'm looking at these remaining 2. They have to be not V. I have to make sure that anything that is still highlighted after I narrow it down has to be not V. Well, V starts with a vowel. So that means it can't start with a vowel. It has to be not V, not starting with a vowel. That's why I have to forget about the earth. Alright, E, that starts with a vowel. Alright, that's V. We want only things that are not V. And so that means the only remaining answer is trace. Okay, and we can see that this satisfies both conditions. It simultaneously has 5 letters, and it does not start with a vowel. Alright, so the answer to, what are we supposed to circle? Is that what the directions said? Circle all that apply. So we would just circle this one. And we really could just leave everything else nice and blank ski. Alright, one more. I'm going to use the same approach, my friends. I'm going to start with the first set, and then I will either narrow it down if it's an AND problem, or I will add on more if it's an OR problem. But the first set is F, 5 letters. Okay, and we already decided that these 2 words have 5 letters, so I'm going to start with that. But OR is more, and this is an OR problem. So that means I'm going to add on more to this. How do I know which ones to add? I'm going to add ones that are V. V starts with a vowel. So I'm going to add on any words that start with a vowel. Any words that are V, I'm going to add on. And this starts with a vowel, so I'm going to add that on. Jump does not start with a vowel, so I will not add that one. And that's it. I started with F, 5 letters, boom, boom. OR is more, so I added on any additional words that are V, start with a vowel. And there you go. So for your final answer, you should have circled earth and tree and act, but not jump. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.